What's up, everybody? It's Keefe with another edition of ghostcultmag.com's weekly ritual. I am somehow here by the grace of Satan. I have been quite ill today and ended up bailing on my earlier podcast and took a long nap, ate some soup, drinking a bunch of Gatorade, and I'm trying to pump myself up to get this possibly long show done. So if you're watching here on the socials, thanks for being here. I really appreciate you. I'm trying to hold it together, not feeling too well. Had some health issues lately. Good to see some friends here on the Instagram, Oxide and Horsebiter. Anybody joining on TikTok, please give us a sub. Same with Twitch. This is our weekly show where we run down all the major news, festivals, tour date announcements, big goings on, lineup changes, all that jazz in the world of rock and metal, whatever that means to you. So hopefully I'm not shouting into the mic. I feel like I'm yelling a little because I'm straining, but I'm going to do my best. So pump me up, give me some encouragement. Feel free to make a donation if you're watching on YouTube. Drop a comment, leave a super chat if you got a question. I give priority to those who donate. The greatest nation of all is donation. There's also some affiliate links and some an affiliate partner we're going to talk about in a second. Any purchase you make helps us support the channel and everything we do at ghostcultmag.com. It's been a crazy week of music news to keep up with, lots of changes and craziness going on. So we're going to get right into it with no delay and do this thing. So I am going to add the deck to the stream and shrink myself into the corner. Nobody puts baby into the corner, but sometimes Keefe does go into the corner. So I'm doing my best here. Thanks for being here. I got multiple screens going. Morrow Time is here. That's my boy KJ. I miss you, dude. We need to get together at some point before the summer disappears. I think you've been traveling, and I've been busy also traveling. But yeah, let's get together soon. The two great bands, Oxide and Connoisseur. People have seen me on the show in my Connoisseur shirt. So definitely check them out on Tank Crimes Records. But anyway, let's do this thing. It's still Pride Month. Happy Pride to anybody celebrating. And you can click right off if you don't care for that. I don't need you here. But again, here's the weekly ritual. It is indeed Saturday. I meant to go live like 6 hours ago. So it was meant to be last night, but this is the Friday show, basically. We are a global organization, even though we are mostly US-based, but we are worldwide in our reach and our coverage. So check it out. Just the housekeeping, again, the lay of the land of the show. I'm going to make some announcements next, just some major goings on and things to bring your attention to. We're going to run down the festivals that are happening this weekend, that are happening next weekend, that are just announced, all the big news, tons and tons of tour dates, some key metal and rock news of the week, a quick rundown of the records coming out today for New Music Friday, so you know who to spin and who to shop on, and then finally, a fun thing from my mailbag I like to do every week, whatever shows up in the mail, a fun vinyl, some new music merch, something a band sent me, whatever. I like sharing that stuff. So here comes the announcements. You see the announcements of the announcement meme. Ermagerd, here we go. This is super sad. Blackie Onassis died from Urge Overkill. You know, most people know Urge Overkill as this post-grunge band from the mid-90s. They had a song in Pulp Fiction, Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon. But Urge Overkill is a kick-ass Chicago alternative rock band for a long time, and Blackie was a hell of a drummer. They're much more than just the one song you know from that movie Once. They're a great band. So very sad. 57 years old, young. Blackie Onassis, very sad to hear he passed. A lot of celebrity deaths this week. Treat Williams died in a motorcycle accident, very sad. But this one hit me personally pretty hard. Author Cormac McCarthy, you probably know his best known work is the book that was turned into a movie for No Country for Old Men. I might have originally written it as a script that became a book, but that's the one everybody knows him from. But The Road is my personal favorite Cormac book. Also, Blood Meridian is a hugely impactful book on a lot of metal bands. Several metal bands have records based on Blood Meridian, including Tombs. So Cormac McCarthy passed away. He actually toiled for the majority of his career in obscurity, which is wild to me. But just very sad. Rest in peace. And then this is Jesse Malin. You probably know him best from the punk band Degeneration, but Jesse is punk rock royalty and hardcore royalty in New York. He was in a bunch of bands. He's had a great solo career for about 25 years, and he had a stroke, a very rare spinal stroke that has left him paralyzed from the waist down. There is hope that he's going to make a full recovery, but it's going to be a very long road. Jesse also owns Bowery Electric. I briefly worked there a few years back doing social media for them, and Jesse's just an all-around wonderful person and a huge supporter. He's always done charity for other people. So we've listed a GoFundMe link in his in our description. His GoFundMe is via Sweet Relief, so which is very reputable fundraising organization for musicians and artists. So please, if you can give anything, he's got a very long road ahead of him, and even though he does have insurance, it's going to be astronomical to get him back in fighting shape. And we're just pulling for you, Jesse, for all the things you've done for everybody else. I hope everyone will help you. Moving along. Just sometimes when you stare into a void, the void stares back into you. I like this image of outer space. Zacharuni96 is here. What's up, Zacharuni? Just I like to share that the best experience for this, if you're watching on TikTok or Instagram, you got one view of my face and my HQ here, but the best experience for this is on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook, where you get the whole shebang-a-bang with the slideshow and all the visuals and everything. So that's where we do best. But if you want to hang on Instagram, I'm going to comment and try to pay attention to Instagram and TikTok. TikTok, we did really stupendous last week at TikTok. I went live much earlier, so we'll see if my night owls are up. It is about 1:45 in the morning on the West Coast. It is 3:45 in the morning on the East Coast. It is morning time in Europe, where we cover all the bases. So some of this stuff applies to all of you. And later today in other parts of the world. So let's do it. We're also on Reddit, just to remind you. I know that these videos are live on social media, and we share them on social media, Twitter and everything. But just to let you know, if you're tired of social media and you want to get off things like this, we have a Reddit thread now where we just post our news and all our stuff. I'm trying to keep up with it. And if you want to just have a direct feed of our news stuff right to your phone, Reddit is the way to go. And we have a newsletter you can sign up for weekly. I'll probably promote that better next week, but feel free to sign up for our newsletter. It's once a week. It's a recap similar to this show, just smaller. And you get one email blast once a week. I don't hit everybody every day like all the other metal sites do. I think once a week is enough. And if there's like a major news story, once in a blue moon, we'll pop up and share something. So that we are on Reddit, just in case. And maybe we're going to start a Discord. Tell me out there if you're in the comments if you like Discord, especially for music news. Anywho, we're also on Twitch. If you're watching this on Twitch, thanks, and please subscribe. We're trying to boost those numbers up. So features this week. This is the big deal start of the week. I had an interview we ran here on YouTube with Dave Mustaine. No, not Dave Mustaine. David Ellefson. Sorry, wrong David. For Dave Ellefson, formerly of Megadeth. Again, I'm feverish, folks. I just popped a bunch of Advil right before this. David Ellefson of Dieth. This is his new death metal supergroup. Amazing new record out now on Napalm Records. Former members of Entombed AD and Decapitated also in the band. Dave's got his first lead vocal ever on a song, but mostly it's a brutal heavy metal song, like a brutal heavy metal death metal record. And I talked to David all about the record. We broke down every track. He co-wrote all the songs, wrote some lyrics, sings lead on a track. We talked about a lot of stuff. This is my 5th or 6th interview with David, over 25 years or 20 years almost as a journalist. I've met him multiple times as a fan outside of journalism, and he's always super cool and nice. Alrighty. TikTok is a lot of times very similar to the comments in the worst places on the internet. You guys need help. Come here to be positive or get out. It's cool. Anywho, also interviewed this week that ran here at Ghost Cult is my interview with Trey Pemberton of Creeping Death. Creeping Death's new album, Boundless Domain, is out today and everywhere. Stream it live when you're done with this show. Monarch Heavy is the label. Trey is a homie. He's great. We love him. We've interviewed the band a couple of times. We've followed their whole career, and this is a very deep and interesting conversation about the band, the breakdown of every track on the album, songwriting, paid tribute to some of his fallen friends. Very cool interview, and we always look forward to seeing them live. I think they're coming to my town pretty soon, so I'm going to go catch them on tour. You should too. This is Viv from Victory Over the Sun. This is a great feature interview done by our own Morgan Y. Evans. Morgan has been a tremendous addition to Ghost Cult in the last 6 months since coming here. And Viv and Victory Over the Sun is a Portland avant-garde doom pop band, pop project. And a really cool interview, uncovering a lot of interesting stuff I did not know about this artist. So you should check it out. I'll link that in the description when this is all over. Also this week, we had a guest post from Aaron Story. Aaron is the host of the Let's Mosh podcast, and Aaron is a photographer and metal and hardcore fan in the LA area, and he covered Doyle at the Whiskey at the end. I think it's the end of Doyle's tour. Doyle from the Misfits. Misfits have a few things on the horizon coming up. So not only did Aaron review the show for Ghost Cult and talked very intensely about that show and what it meant to him, he got to hang out and interview Doyle briefly. So I think that's worth checking out. This very unique kind of a show review and a feature, which we don't do a lot of, but it's pretty cool. And you might like it if you like Doyle. So definitely check it out. Alrighty, Pineapple Boy 67 is here on TikTok. Hopefully you like heavy metal. Also, come check out the Ghost Cult Magazine podcast, which I'll talk about a little more in a second. We got a bunch of new interviews there. There's a monthly feature episode every month where we cover the new music. So if new music is your passion, rock and metal, new releases, and you're a record collector and things like that, you want to keep, people tell me all the time they didn't know this record was out, that I didn't know this record was coming out. With all the press and the PR and the plethora of metal websites, including ghostcultmag.com, I'm shocked that people have trouble tracking this stuff. So we do a series of posts every week on the new music coming out, a preview and a live post where you can buy the music or check it out, at least to stream it. I do this monthly podcast with Steve Tovey. He's the senior editor at Ghost Cult. He manages our entire reviews team. We are not yet at the halfway mark of the year, and we have already almost reviewed as many albums as we did all of last year. So, whoa, we did 600 plus records last year. We're already at like 400 something, almost 500. So we're certainly going to eclipse that. The staff has been killing it. Shout out to all my peeps all over the world writing reviews for Ghost Cult. But check out the Ghost Cult Magazine podcast for that episode, our episode with Anti-Saint, other new episodes coming up soon with Bloody Wood and Maggie Lindemann and Jessie May of Owlmaker, and she's also a book author. A lot of cool stuff coming up. Stay tuned. We got a bunch of interviews from Milwaukee Metal Fest. Tons of stuff. Check it out. So again, wherever you follow and listen to podcasts, if you prefer, this show will also be a podcast. I always like to say that in case you click off and you want to catch the rest of it later, this will be a podcast, but kind of don't click off. Hang out with us. This is my time. This is my time to hang out. Another podcast we rep is the Heavy Business Podcast, brought to you by C Squared Marketing. They are a marketing and PR firm for metal bands, rock and metal bands, but also they give away a lot of free advice to starter bands just getting out there in the world. And this podcast is a bunch of cool information from music industry experts they interview. I have been on the podcast and I'm a big fan, but we always support them and share their stuff weekly here. Gary Crutcher on TikTok says he loves the Testament Tapestry. Thank you so much. That's the Brotherhood of the Snake album from quite a while ago. And anybody who's followed us for a long time will have seen that in multiple places I have lived, other places in California. When I lived back in Brooklyn, I've had that for quite a while. This other guy over my shoulder is Capra, one of the best young bands right now in the world. They are on, I know Title Fight. They're great. Capra is, if you like Dillinger Escape Plan and Trap Them, Capra has those kind of vibes, and they're working on a new album right now somehow, even though they're constantly on tour. So very exciting stuff. We will have them on for an interview again when that album gets closer. Another podcast I do, because I don't have enough to do, is the Glacially musical Pouredcast, beer metal swearing as in pour beer, vinyl, other nerd dork things. We recorded a bonus episode tonight, but going live right now. So right after you watch this, if you happen to be a fan of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, we're doing a series on their early albums, the good ones. I don't know about the latest ones, but the good ones. And this is episode 2, is live right now on the Glacially Musical Podcast channel. There's a link in the description for all the things. George Bordeaux is here. Bordeaux? Sorry, George. Correct me if you want in the comments. I apologize. I have a rough last name. My parents came over here. My grandparents came over here on a boat, and they changed our name. So I'm always respectful of anybody. If I screw your name up, I am really sorry. I will invariably screw up the names of bands and albums all the time. I really try not to, but it happens. So I am sorry. So check out my other podcasts and give that a follow and a subscribe, especially wherever you listen to podcasts and on YouTube. Now, just to talk for a second really quick about our affiliate partner, Merch Bar. You buy band merch, you buy albums, you buy shirts, you buy patches, pins for your vest. You see my vest behind me if you're watching this on YouTube or Twitch. And we partnered with Merch Bar for a deep discount on every order you make with them. They are awesome. It's legitimate merch. The money goes to the bands, and you're not buying bootleg stuff. There's a lot of great merch companies out there, and we try to support them and thank them all. But Merch Bar is where you want to get authentic stuff and not get robbed, or buy a vinyl and it turns out to be a bootleg. This stuff exists. This happens all the time to bands. Our Turk is here. What's up on Instagram? How you doing? Bones with a bunch of S's is here on TikTok also. So yeah, man, this is just some vinyl that Merch Bar has that we screen grab just to show you a little display of some of their stuff. And I have a bunch of these, actually, the new Skid Row record, Pallbearer, Twisted Sister, 3 Days Grace, and the Meshuggah double vinyl, which I have the limited double vinyl of the new Meshuggah from last year. So very cool stuff. And here's a bunch of killer shirts they have, and they change the merch all the time, and they have posters and all kinds of stuff. We've got a bunch of new affiliate partners here at Ghost Cult. Anything you buy from them, we get a little bit of money that helps us pay the bills. So we appreciate you. If you check them out, there's a link in the description. Follow that link specifically in our bio and in our description. So you get the discount and we get the DAP. You know what's up. Moving along, it's time for the festivals. This is going to be the biggest part of the show. Festivals and tour dates. Big this week. Tons of stuff got announced, and I'm going to try to blast through this as best as humanly possible. I'm going to take another sip of this Gatorade Zero Orange and do my best. Like I said, we got a little goal going on TikTok. If anybody is new here and you like what you see, please sub. It helps us. It really does help us. We're trying to get our subs up on TikTok and get seen more. We post little news stories every day, fun things that we post. Occasionally some live stuff whenever we cover a show or a festival. We'll film some stuff. The merch, we share a lot of merch posts. So yeah, check out our TikTok, our YouTube shorts, our Instagrams, all the things. Trying to do all the things. Here we go. Festival news. Already underway. Day 1 was yesterday. Hellfest in France. Last year was the insane 2-week Hellfest. It will probably never be topped in the history of metal festivals. This year's Hellfest, Kiss, Motley Crue, Iron Maiden, Slipknot, Def Leppard, Porcupine Tree, Pantera, Amon Amarth, Carpenter Brute, Alter Bridge, Parkway Drive, Sum 41, Tenacious D, Fishbone, Rancid, whatever passes for Black Flag, The Ghost Inside, Amun-Ra, The Cult, Clutch, Melvins, Catatonia, Meshuggah, and many more. Hellfest taking place right outside of Paris in Clisson, France. Let's see, I don't think I put my banner up this week, did I? Let me add this guy. Hey, the ticker. I love the ticker. I don't know about you. I'm just a fan. But yeah, feel free to drop some comments, ask some questions, give us a super chat or a super thanks. Any kind of donation helps, and I will gladly interrupt the show and answer your question. I am the real Rob Sams. I did not know there's a fake Rob Sams, but okay, real Rob Sams. I'm Slim Shady. Please stand up. Here we go. So Hellfest, Grass Pop is this weekend. Insane, Guns N' Roses, Machine Head is one of the headliners. Slipknot, Def Leppard, and many others. Ghost. And these European festivals are stacked. So stacked all the way. They're pretty killer. Also, this is the red alert of the week. This is wild. I never thought this festival was going to come back. New England Metal and Hardcore Festival. I lived in the Boston area for 11 years. This festival meant the world to me even before I moved there. I was visiting and going to this festival. If you're watching this on one of the other platforms where you can see the slides, the left-hand photo is a cell phone photo I took in like 2010. And then this new lineup that just got announced. It's the middle of September. There's a bunch of stuff happening mid-September. Stay tuned. Parkway Drive's tour is basically the Friday night show. Parkway Drive, Amity Affliction, North Lane, Killer Band, and Make Them Suffer. Saturday, Lamb of God, Hatebreed, Shadows Fall, Black Dahlia Murder, Fit for an Autopsy, Despised Icon, Chelsea Grin, Terror, 100 Demons, Vain, a bunch of other bands. I think they just added Jesus Piece. Not sure if they're going to add many more bands, but Jesus Piece was also added. Unbelievable. This is going to be on the outdoor stage outside of the Palladium. We are likely to cover it. And I'm just so happy. Shout out to Scott Lee. You're the man. And thank you for bringing this back. And this does my heart good to see. I have so many great memories and stories of New England Metal and Hardcore Fest that I probably should share some eventually. Also announced this week, the Metal Injection Festival, the debut festival for Metal Injection, our peers in the metal music news world. This is also taking place the same weekend in Anaheim, so just south of LA. Testament, Machine Head, Fear Factory, Cavalera Brothers. Fear Factory playing an exclusive set. Cavalera Brothers playing an exclusive set. Exhumed, Insight, Spirit Adrift, King. I hope King is coming back with a new album. That would be rad. My phone is doing something funky. Hope we're okay on IG. Clayton 4771 is here. What's up? So yeah, Metal Injection has a festival. I had some people bust my chops and be like, when is Ghost Cult's festival? When we get as big as Metal Injection, probably. And I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But props to them. 16, 17 years in the game. And much respect. Good job. Riot Fest announced their daily lineups today, and I'm not going to run through them all in the interest of time, but the poster did kind of give it away. Foo Fighters Turnstile on Friday, Postal Service and Def Camp for Cutie on Saturday, also with Queens of the Stone Age, and Sunday, on my birthday, September 17th, The Cure and the Mars Volta. Killer lineup, Mr. Bungle, Tegan and Sarah, 100 Gex, Gaslight Anthem, AFI, Death Grips, The Used, Dresden Dolls, Say Anything, Interrupters, Flogging Molly, Frank Turner and the Sleeping Souls, Pennywise, Bayside, Earth Crisis, Insane Clown Posse. It's insane, and I can't wait. I will be there covering and interviewing a ton of bands, and our team will be on site for the whole festival. So if you're in Chicago, holler at your boy, and let's get together. Also announced recently and coming up soon at the beginning of July, Capulet Fest in Connecticut. This looks killer. 2-day festival. Memphis Mayfire and Norma Jean headlining day 1. All That Remains in Amberlin headlining day 2. All That Remains has been touring, not doing a lot. Amberlin is sort of reunited and back to touring. Killer lineup. A lot of 2000s metalcore and rock bands, but also some cool newer bands like Saul is there and Savage Hands. So this is a fun festival. We're going to do an interview with the founder soon and run that soon and share to help promote the fest. So that's going to be coming soon. Black Deer Festivals this weekend again, kind of folk, alternative rock, Americana. This is in the UK, and this looks like a great lineup. I would go to this if I lived in the UK and I wasn't at Hellfest or something else. But yeah, man, good times here. Steve Earle, Bonnie Raitt, Pretenders, Nate Ratliff, Kurt Vile and the Violators, Lucinda Williams. Good times. This is a bit of a surprising bit of news. Punk Island is this weekend in New York City, and they had to downsize their festival. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world where financially just these things are crazy. Festivals are hard to put on. Tours are hard to keep going. And Punk Island made a very heartfelt and hard announcement that they had to shave off part of the lineup. Those bands will all play next year. I don't know if they're offering refunds if your band canceled that you wanted to see, but they seem like a good organization. This was not done lightly. And so it's still happening on the 18th. That's a Sunday, but it's a little smaller than it was planned to be. So good luck to them. I hope that it doesn't contract further, and it seems like they're on point to try to keep it going. So good stuff. Muddy Roots is also this summer. Just we've been sharing periodic updates. The full lineup is here. Headliners: Amigo the Devil, Suicidal Tendencies, Gore, the Dead Milkmen. I didn't think that was possible still. Murder by Death, Cro-Mags, that's Harley Cro-Mags, DRI, Sage Francis, and many, many others. We've covered Muddy Roots a few times. I don't think we'll be covering it this year. We're a little spread out, but great festival. Eastern Tennessee, Americana, Doom, Country, Outlaw Country, sometimes grindcore, punk rock. Fun times. Good stuff, and they're run really well. Really run by fantastic people. This is coming up soon. Outbreak Fest in the UK. Converge, Bane, Death Grips, Denzel Curry are your headliners. That looks like a fun show also. Converge. I'm hoping they're going to announce some new music soon. It's been a minute since they have announced anything new. So it'd be cool if they do. Kenneth is here on TikTok. Hi, Kenneth. So, yeah. The Maryland Doom Festival is next weekend, and it is a banger. We've covered this before. The Skull, Lopan, Earthride, Hollow Leg, Conclave, Black Lung, Baracho, Thunderbird Divine. Shout out to a lot of cool bands on Salt of the Earth Records, and it is looking like a badass time. The Maryland Death Fest will be back next year. So Maryland Doom Fest usually comes a few weeks after Maryland Death Fest. So they're not, I don't think they're related, but they're in the same town, so they're sort of related. All righty. Oh, Metal and Coffee, are you here? Metal and Coffee is a former and always welcome back ghost cultist. So I hope you're here. You should follow her channel. She is badass. Check out her TikToks. Check out her YouTubes, her Twitch streams. Alrighty. Rebellion Festival takes place in early August in Blackpool in the UK. The Damned, Descendants, New Model Army, Exploited, Steel Pulse, De Tottenhausen, The Only Ones, Bob Vylan, Slackers, Republica, Bad Manners, Dickies, best logo of all time of any punk band, T-Sol, Steve Ignorant and Crass, UK Subs, Kid Kapachi. So mostly legendary punk, post-punk, and hardcore bands. And Gangrene and DRI are also both on this with the Meteors and the Subhumans. This lineup's nuts. Nuts, I tell you. Nuts. Good times. I want to go. RPM Fest, just reminding you, is a thing. They're going to announce more bands, but we'll be there this year. And we have a very special RPM announcement coming soon. But King Parrot, Weed Eater, A Wilhelm Scream, Black Tusk, High Reaper, and many, many, many other bands are playing RPM Fest. That takes place in Western Massachusetts over Labor Day weekend, when many festivals are taking place. Also, the Blades of Steel Metal Fest 3 is coming to Madison, Wisconsin in September, and it is going to be co-headlined by Flotsam and Jetsam, one of my favorite bands ever, and Exciter, a killer band. Tons of great heavy metal and thrash bands taking over Wisconsin, as they should. Also, just announced the Vienna Metal Meeting. I believe this is from the same people that put on the Eindhoven Metal Meeting and are now branching out to other places to do metal meetings. So, yeah, very cool. Paradise Lost, Catatonia, Primordial, Harakiri for the Sky, who we just reviewed, Omnium Gatherum, and many more on that festival. Festivals. Ooh, all right. Full Terror Metal Assault is not done releasing their full lineup, but it is headlined by the Cavalera Brothers, I Am Morbid, and some other bands, Crysis, Exhumed, Crowbags. Boy, Exhumed is everywhere. King Parrot, Ingrown, Enforced, Jungle Rot, Weed Eater. That is a sick lineup. I would really like to go to this, but it's kind of out of the way for me. We'll see. I am going to be in Chicago mid-September, but Chicago area, but it's going to be tough. Just in case you like hip hop, this is a really cool tour. There's a festival show. I'm not sure if this is a whole tour. I think this is taking place at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, where hip hop was born. In case you didn't know, Hip Hop Live, Run DMC, Snoop Dogg, Lil Wayne, Ice Cube, Eve, Lil Kim, Remy Ma, Trina, Fat Joe, T.I., Common, Ferg, EPMD, Ghostface Killah, Lupe Fiasco, Slick Rick Derula, DJ Kool Herc, Cindy Campbell, Grandma. I mean, just like this is Curtis Blow, Belly Mel, Roxanne Shante, Sugar Hill Gang, old school rap, 80s, 90s, and more. So pretty cool lineup there. Word. All right. Also just announced this summer's Midgardsblot. We've covered that also in Norway. Black Braid, who I just saw here in San Francisco. Unbelievable performance. That new record is going to be a banger. I cannot wait. If you like the culty black metal, Black Braid is one of the rising bands in the genre, and they are now headlining one of the smaller stages at Midgardsblot, which is also headlined by Tyr, My Dying Bride, Enslaved, Campfire, Enherer, so many great bands. Scald, who did not get to do their American tour. So that is a phenomenal looking festival. All right, on to the concerts. That's all the festival news. Holy cow. And now on to a whole bunch of concerts, and then we'll whip through the end. All right. I'm trying not to sniffle too much in the microphone, but I'm feeling like crap. All right. Like I said, again, this is our weekly rock and metal news show. Thanks for being here. Thanks for everybody watching. Please feel free to give us a donation, a super chat, a sub. It all helps. Super thanks, super chat, whatever. Check out our content. We got a lot of cool stuff we do in the world of rock and metal. Biohazard, this is a lot of fun. Biohazard shouted out our review of Milwaukee Metal Fest in an ad. They are playing their hometown this weekend in New York City, several shows in New York at Irving Plaza, the legendary and refurbished Irving Plaza, one of my hometown venues from my childhood. So stoked for Biohazard. We did an interview with Billy Bio when they first came back. We will do another interview with the band when they get closer to releasing new music with probably multiple members of the band. Super stoked. I cannot wait to see them. I hope I get to see them somewhere this year. And yeah, man, Biohazard, these shows are probably sold out, but you can probably find tickets online. And just I really appreciate them shouting out our review by Ragin' Rosie, who covered the Milwaukee Metal Fest for us. You can check that out. I'll link that in the description as well. And then Biohazard is coming back to Europe. They're playing some big festivals. A lot of stuff going on with them. Queens of the Stone Age new album out today in Times New Roman. They have announced a big headline tour of America, in addition to all these big festivals they're playing this year, including Riot Fest and a few others. They are going on tour with Phantogram, Viagra Boys, The Armed, and Jenny Beth. And we'll be checking that out. That kicks off in August and ends around early October. So, big time. And Josh Homme this week announced that he had actually had a cancer scare in 2022. He beat it. He didn't get too deep into what it was or where it was, but, you know, we're losing a lot of rock soldiers, as I like to say. So hopefully Josh is okay now. But it was surprising. He's a very private person with a lot of personal issues, and I was surprised to hear him talk about it. So this weekend is the David Bowie convention in New York City. We will be there. We cover events and cons, and not just music stuff. We do geek stuff too. We went to Comic-Con before, New York Comic-Con and things like that. And David Bowie convention is this week. This is the bill for Saturday. There's actually a pre-concert tonight, Friday night, and then it's Saturday and Sunday all day with panelists and performances and tributes. I think in addition, Ziggy Stardust and the motion picture is coming back to movie theaters. So a lot of celebratory David Bowie stuff happening right now. Also in the tour news, Hailung, you might even be here because we interviewed Hailung 2 years ago and have almost 100,000 views on that video. So thank you if you were here because of Hailung. Hailung is coming back to the U.S. They're doing some tours of the B cities that they didn't hit last year. So be on the lookout for Hailung tour dates this summer and fall. Very exciting. One of the best bands in the world of any stripe. Just incredible Norse pagan tribal music. Unbelievable stuff. Yep. Okie dokie. Also, Sleep Token, probably the most talked about band this year, immediately sold out their one arena show ever in the UK. Who are they? What are they? What is Sleep Token? If you tell me if you're down with them or not. I love that record. Surely one of the top 10 records of 2023 so far, but either loved or hated, it seems. And I will say that I have coined the phrase to describe them, Deftones core. You tell me if you agree or not, if you know the band. Let me know. Also, Municipal Waste has announced a UK tour for later this year with Gel. Super stoked. Just saw them. They were amazing about 6 weeks ago. Unbelievable live. A lot of energy. Great new stuff. The new music goes over super well with the existing stuff of their back catalog. So always a good time to see Municipal Waste live. Aristocrats are currently on tour in the UK and Europe. A super group of progressive rock geniuses. If you like this kind of stuff, I've interviewed every single member of the band before, which is weird, separately, not together. But Guthrie Govan and Marco Miniman for my podcast, as well as Brian Beller here on YouTube. So definitely check that out. Brian Beller is of Death Clock. Marco Miniman has been in a bunch of bands, including Necrophagist, and Guthrie Govan is an incredible guitar genius maniac, and it plays with Devin Townsend and Steven Wilson and people like that. So I feel a sniffle coming on. I'm trying. What is my favorite Primus album? Michelle Villagomez. I'm gonna go old school and say Frizzle Fry. I love the early Primus, and then the more recent stuff they did that like one long track EP last year or a year and a half ago. I thought was mad good. Big Primus fan. I used to slap at a bassman. Not as good as anybody you could mention. See it, she sees it. She's incredible. And then I saw Rush. I saw Primus play Rush, a whole Rush concert, like a Rush album live, which was amazing here in the Bay Area at Berkeley's The Greek Theater, which is it was amazing. Primus is from the Bay Area originally, and Les talked about going to that venue as a kid, and now he's doing this thing. Annie, New York Hardcore is here. Hello, Annie. How are you doing today or tomorrow? Time travel, possible via social media. So yeah, I'm a big Primus fan. Big Primus fan. Big fan. Moving on with the tour dates. Morbid Devastation Cavalera Brothers tour with Exhumed and Insight. We've already mentioned they're headlining a bunch of festivals, and they are dropping a new song tomorrow, I think, actually, today. A re-recording of a track from Bestial Devastation. So tell me what you think of that in the comments. I'm excited. I personally like having the Cavalera Brothers and Sepultura. I just saw Sepultura, my review run today at Ghost Cult of their recent tour. I like having both. It's like 2 Christmases. It was amazing, and you went to his vineyard on your birthday. That's amazing. Had to get your dad's ashes. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad you were able to make it a thing that you could also enjoy and remember in a positive light. Also, sorry for your loss. We're losing everybody. Literally, Robert Dean is here. Literally, Robert Dean. Not actually Robert Dean, but literally Robert Dean. If you have a fun screen name, I'm going to call it out. Let me tell you, fun is where it's at. I'm at Ghost Cult Keefe, by the way, and of course you should follow at Ghost Cult Mag wherever. 1:17 a.m. Pacific time. I am trashed. Let's go. This is a super awesome tour. I would love to see this in person. I think I'm not going to be able to, but Polaris, the Fatalism North American Tour 2023 with Currents, Varials, and a couple of other bands. That tour looks amazing. Polaris is super underrated. Currents is killer. Varials is killer. So very good tour right there. If you like the sort of metalcore, djenty, progressive stuff a little bit. Also, this tour looks insane. Insane. Fallujah is coming back on tour. The Death Imperium North American tour kicking off this weekend, I believe. Maybe even already underway. Nope, this week, next week, Monday. It's like I can't read the font. It's like a strange font. But thank you for sharing your story, Michelle. You rock, and I appreciate you. Righty, Josh Farrell is also here on the Instas. Let us go do a thing. This is the Tech Trek Australia for my Australian people possibly watching. Archspire is coming back to your shores with Werewolves and some other bands. That's going to take place in October, starting in Brisbane at the Zoo venue. Also, this got announced last week. I think we missed it in the end of the week. Black Veil Brides and Billy Valo are going to co-headline a tour this fall. Special guest openers, Dark Divine. Black Veil Brides have new music coming out. Billy Valo's debut solo album is out right now. We had a big interview with him on the site. And hello again, Annie. Showing up in multiple places. I appreciate you. And Billy Valo. I saw him briefly at the Sick New World Festival, but I didn't really get to enjoy a full set from him. Still wore the all black, his whole band in black, sometimes leather, in the boiling hot suns. How many? I'm live on all the platforms right now, Annie. Let me tell you, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. Atomic Fire Records is here. Hails to Atomic Fire Records. Fantastic record label we like a lot here. And thank you for all the support. Also, this is unbelievable and unbelievably sad. There's going to be a 2-day, we've talked a lot about these live and outside concerts on an outdoor stage in Oakland, nearby where I live. And there's a couple coming up, Yob and a death metal one. But this is crazy. I got to see Ludacris' comeback show in San Francisco last fall. They're doing a series of shows here and there. And then this is it. And this is apparently their last show ever. And it's going to be over a weekend. And also on this bill, this is nuts. I think this is a bunch of tours. Possessed, hey, right on time. Possessed Official, our favorites, right on time for the news about the final show from Ludacris in Oakland at the outside of the Opera House. Demolition Hammer, Ludacris, Necrot, Decrepit Birth, Psychroptic. It's like Pinch Me. I think I'm going to be out of town when this thing happens, but you love death metal and black and death metal and thrashy death metal and all the death metals. These are some of the best bands in the world, all playing in one weekend in Oakland. It's crazy. Ludacris is a very underrated killer band from the Bay Area. I'm a huge fan. If I never see them again, I'm at peace about it. Word Testament, another shout out to the Testament banner. Thank you very much. I'm a big fan. I've interviewed Testament quite a few times. Chuck Billy, Alex Skolnick, Eric Peterson, all. Like to go see them with Lombardo again. We'll see. They did mention the Metal Injection Festival they're headlining earlier. All good. Funny enough, when I moved to the Bay Area, the tech center of America, I got this new phone. I think my TikTok is on my OnePlus 10 device. And they were like, oh, by the way, most of San Francisco doesn't have 5G. I was like, word. Okay. So don't worry about it. But great to see you here, Possessed. We love you. And we'll see you live again soon. Black Dahlia Murder announced a tour with Chelsea Grin, 200 Stab Wounds, who I just saw, and Gates to Hell. Great. This is a brief tour surrounding Black Dahlia Murder's festival dates. So they started Blue Ridge Rock Festival. They are now playing also New England Metal and Hardcore Festival. Unbelievable. Hails to Black Dahlia Murder coming through, an unimaginable tragedy and finding a way to carry on with the band. Trevor is irreplaceable, and they're not trying to replace him. They're just trying to carry the torch. So I think that's wonderful. Thrice has announced the Artist in the Ambulance 20th anniversary tour of Europe and the UK. We've already got a bunch of shows in America. They are playing the entire album in its entirety. If you're a fan of that album, Palm Reader is in the UK, as well as Town Portal opening for them. Sick. Palm Reader is one of the most underrated bands right now. So good. All right. Movements announced the tour. Very cool. Mannequin Pussy is the direct support. I love that band, by the way. Great name, great band. This is a poster for the Worcester Palladium. That's coming up soon. September. Twins of Evil tour got announced last weekend, and we didn't get to really talk about it. Boris and the Melvins co-headlining across America, and the opening band is Mr. Files, who are on Ipecac Recordings with Melvins, who release a lot of their stuff there. Boris is going to play the Heavy Rocks album, the Heavy Rocks Complete, Unbelievable from 2002. And I believe Melvins are going to play Bullhead. Incredible. I cannot miss this tour. I have to find a way to go. Word. A couple of last ones on the tour dates. City of Caterpillar has announced some new dates on the West Coast. I will be out of town. Kilas, I hope I said that correctly, Kilias, has announced the Cyborg Octopus Tour. Look at this poster. This poster is incredible. An octopus wearing a diving bell hat, like diving helmet. Crazy. Another one I'm probably going to be out of town for, but that shit looks cool. Just to remind you, this is your weekly reminder that Amon Amarth is on tour wherever your town is right now. They're all across Europe and European metal festivals this summer. They also have 2 American dates in August and September. Lots of stuff coming on. You know, they also have their big tour with Ghost, right? So that's coming up this fall. So lots of cool stuff going on. Or this summer. Jungle Rot has announced the Converge to Dominate tour. This also looks very cool. We talked about these guys last week on the show. Angelus Apetrida. Sorry if I said that wrong. That's the Spanish thrash metal band. They are about to release a new album. They did a big documentary about the recording of it, and now they have announced a gang of tour dates. Coma Hole is one of our favorite stoner doom bands from Rhode Island. Killer band. They also make awesome merch. Erica Fear, who I interviewed, is their main front person. Our homies in Ghost Hello are opening. This tour looks rad. Not sure if I will be back east when this happens, but I would really love to catch this tour. But yeah, Coma Hole. And again, check them out. They're so sick. Stoner Doom Deluxe. I'm a fan. Word. All right. Tenacious D is wrapping up the Spicy Meatball Tour with special guests. And there's a lot of stuff going on with those guys right now. New album, cover of Wicked Game by Chris Isaac with the hilarious music video of them frolicking on a beach in underwear and bathing suits. Amazing stuff. The D. They tried to destroy the metal, but metal will not be killed. Okay, that was all the festivals and news. It took 20 minutes. I am going to bang through the rest of this show now. Thanks for being here. If you're still here, I applaud you with a sip of my drink. Oh, I feel so crappy. Well, let's finish this show off in style. Let's do it, Brutus. Big news of the week. Last week, Slipknot surprise released an album, performed a download festival, added a new member, lost a member. Clown rejoined the band on tour in Europe. So, he was home, missed the first few days of the tour and festivals because he's caring for his wife, who's got an ongoing chronic illness. Clown puts family first, as you all should, as we all should. I'm sure some people were disappointed, but you have to take care of yours. There's no point in doing all this if you don't have your people. And props to Clown. So Clown is back. This is an older photo, I believe, photographed by Renee Botello for Ghost Cult. And we're interested to see the new masks of all the band guys. The Great Lie joined. Okay. Good to see you. Here on IG. This is Rob Caggiano, shot by our dude, Evil Rob Photography. Cranium Band is here. What's up, Cranium? Rob Caggiano, formerly of Anthrax and now formerly of Volbeat, finally released a statement about why he left Volbeat. Changes in his personal life, changes in his professional life, just time to move on. No animosity, no enmity. wish them the best of luck, wish the luck to his temporary road replacement, Florian, and just said it was time to move on. And he was quiet for a while. He needed to process everything. And, this is what happens, guys. He's a very talented and respected producer. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to not being full-time in another band ever and just being a studio guy. He's on the level of some of your best in the world, Jay Ruston and Nick Resculenitz and people like that. So props to Rob, a guy from my hometown, the Bronx, New York, always showing love. This is a bummer. Another lineup change bit of news. This is Costa Casanova, and center left there is Stephanie Zanker. I hope I said that correctly. She has left the band after 18 years, and it's kind of thrown the future of the band in doubt. They're one of the most respected and badass bands in the world. They have a recent record out on Magnetic Eye Records, their label for a long time. We've interviewed the band a couple of times. Fantastic band. Incredible alternative rock, stoner doom, some weird shit, like great band. They do great covers, and people, again, lives change, people change, and they move on from bands. And band has admitted that they don't know what the future looks like without her, so they may be done. But we'll find out. We'll let you know when we know for sure. There are some unreleased digital albums and EPs and singles coming from the band, but probably not physical. That's how it goes. Best of luck to all of y'all. I'm sure they will all pop up in other bands somewhere else. This is pretty funny. So Twitter is being sued by the entire record company. Like the whole record industry is suing Twitter. I live like 10 blocks from Twitter headquarters, and I work in social media when I'm not doing those calls. So Twitter, I don't know if you know this, all the social media companies have deals with the major record labels, so you can play a GIF with a song by somebody, or you can play, on TikTok, you can make a reel and have a song. They all pay royalties. Some of them they don't give you strikes or, down, let's say, shadow ban you or anything for using this music. YouTube does, so we have to be careful about that. That's why I don't play music on this show. But Twitter is being sued for $250 million by 17 music industry entities, including Sony Music Group, Universal Music Group, the biggest label in the world, BMG, EMI, and others for copyright infringement. And according to this post I'm reading off of from lambgoat.com, our friends at Lambgoat, filed in Tennessee, the suit alleges that Twitter has allowed rampant use of music without necessary licenses. Twitter has rebuffed calls for it to obtain these licenses or other agreements needed for musical compositions to lawfully be used on its platform. Hundreds of thousands of music pieces have been illegally used on the platform without compensation or licenses secured. So Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, they all have the they all have the licenses. They all have a deal, and Twitter won't make one. So Elon Musk continuing to do a bang up job with Twitter. Also, there's just a funny picture of Joe Biden with the pentagram, Biden 2020. But Biden actually did you all a solid this week because of pressure, the Biden White House in America has been pressuring Live Nation and Ticketmaster with the threat of breaking up their monopoly. And this is because of the ticket monopoly, the high prices of tickets, the scams, the bots, the if you think that like Taylor Swift tickets and Bruce Springsteen tickets don't affect you down to your little metal bands, they do. Because for the level of bands that play at the other venues, I saw Mastodon and Gojira recently, and I saw a bunch of other big shows recently at big venues, and Live Nation or AEG usually owns most of them. So the Biden White House, this is super interesting. Ticketmaster and SeatGeek in particular will eliminate the hidden junk fees from pressure from the Biden White House. So this is SeatGeek, I think, is also now owned by Ticketmaster, by the way. So again, this is not good for the music loving fan, but they cannot, only a few states make Ticketmaster and Live Nation and SeatGeek here's what all the fees are for. So you can say, like, I don't want to pay that, and I won't pay that. But a lot of people don't know what their tickets are, what the money goes to. What are these fees for? So Live Nation, which is the parent company of Ticketmaster, have voluntarily, agreed to not hide the fees anymore. I think the fees need to get gone or eliminated. I think merch cuts need to be removed. We talk about that every couple of weeks. And, I went to go see Sepultura and Creator, and the shirts were like $40, and I love both of those bands, and I want to support them. When I go to a big show, I usually buy merch from the openers, and the openers have to charge what the big bands do. You can't undersell the headliner. So Spirit World also had $40 and $35 shirts. I think I bought a book for $25 that they have from their singer. But it's tough. It's tough to be a concert-loving, music-loving fan right now. But Biden did give comments. You can see, maybe we'll link them in the description, where he commented on these changes. But he said that basically, in a nutshell, these are just the latest private sector leaders who are responding to my calls for action. I'm asking their competitors to follow suit and adopt an all-in upfront pricing. So you'll hear that phrase, all-in pricing, where we know every single thing they're charging us for. And this is a win for consumers. And in my view, Biden, proof that our crackdown on junk fees has real momentum. So that's cool. Again, if these companies don't cooperate, they face the threat of having their monopolies broken up. So I think this is actually really good for music-loving fans. Okay. Moving on. Bandcamp is not having a Bandcamp Friday again until August. However, Bandcamp is doing their third annual Juneteenth fundraising sale. So on Monday, June 19th, celebrating the Juneteenth holiday, not taught anywhere else in the world and not taught mostly in American cities. But Juneteenth is a legit and important holiday, and Bandcamp is going to make donations of every sale from bands to very valuable and important organizations. So I'm a big fan of that. So basically treat it like a Bandcamp Friday, and you'll be making a donation to a good cause. Alrighty, Metallica, because Metallica all the time, Metallica everything. Metallica released a new EP this week, a digital EP with Amazon Music Presents, as well as a bunch of music videos. They released a new live in the studio video of If Darkness Had a Sun from their new album, 72 Seasons. It's also got 3 other songs. There's 3 other videos, and you can only check it out exclusively on Amazon Music if you like that service. I know some people who do. Very cool. Metallica continues the M72 tour. I think they're in another city in Europe this weekend. So it'll be 2 shows in 3 days with no repeats. They'll be, I think it's their last shows in America. And then they come, I think it's Sweden. And then they come to their last show in Europe. And then they come to America in early August. I hope to be at those shows. So we'll see. Catch at least one of them, if not multiple. This is MAAFA. This is an incredible band, sort of a combination of hardcore punk and Afro punk and things. Their debut full-length album is coming out this week, and we premiered it. It's here at Ghost Cult. It actually comes out Monday. Because we're here, is streaming only at Ghost Cult until Monday, and then it will be streaming everywhere. This is an incredible band and an incredible album, and I highly recommend it. If you like Turnstile, this is in your wheelhouse for you, this kind of band. And their messaging is incredible. I liken them to like a Rage Against the Machine or a War on Women, and just OTEP, very political, but very needed and necessary. Great band. And definitely check them out. Surely check them out. All right, that link is already in the description. So if you're on YouTube, check that band out right now. Dolly Parton got elected to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last year, and she said she's going to go make a rock record. And gosh darn it, that record is coming out now. So she just dropped 2 singles, Bygones and Magic Man, the Carl version. Carl! But Dolly is a treasure, and she had like legit rock legends play on her album with her. And I'm super stoked for the Dolly Parton rock record. Why not? You got everything else. Why not Dolly? Kind is a stoner doom band from the Boston area. They have announced their new album is coming out soon, and I'm very, very excited for this. This is a fantastic band you all need to know about. This is super cool for you guitar nerds out there and you would-be producers and wannabe masterers. URM Academy is your one-stop source for guitar nerdism and learning how to produce. I'm sure you know their website, nailthemix.com. I'm sure you know Riff Hard if you're trying to learn metal guitar and production techniques. They just released a brand new series, How It's Done, which is their recurring series. Jens Bogren, who has produced every great metal and death metal band in the world, and Ishan of Emperor and his solo career, will create a song together, record it, master it, mix everything. 35 hours of lessons at a bargain price, literally like $10 an hour for what the value of this thing is. I did a full interview all about this with E.L. Levy. He is also from the band Doth, but he is the co-owner of URM Academy. And the interview is going to come out pretty soon. But this is live now. We'll try to link this in the linktree or the description back to the story. So definitely, if you are trying to make bedroom records or learn how to be a producer or learn how to make better demos for your band, you need to sign up for URM Academy and make use of all their knowledge. Nothing More has collabed with Puck Hockey to make a whole line of merch. This is pretty fun. I like that jersey with the Nothing More logo. Fun band live. I can't say that I sit around and listen to their records over and over, but a super, super fun band to watch live. So you definitely check that out. We're almost done here, folks. Down to the wire. Ghost, for you Ghost fans, for you haters, take a second. Ghost is dropping a giant deluxe box set version of their album Impera from last year. It is a limited edition, pre-order now, in a big slipcase box with all kinds of stuff, including the Phantomime EP on a limited vinyl and other stuff. And you can get that from Ghost's merch store or wherever you follow Ghost, social media, etc. This is the Zenith Passage, a technical death metal band which contains former Faceless vocalist Derek Ryquist. They just dropped a brand new single. They have a new album coming out this summer via Metal Blade. Hella cool band if you like the death metals. That's a real underrated one for 23. Definitely check it out. Which skeleton are you today? Tell us which one. I just like to interject sometimes one of these skeletons. This actually looks like it would work as a almost a 3D image. I'm not sure. Again, thanks to everybody that's hung in here with us late night to do this show. I appreciate y'all. Feel free to like and subscribe. We're trying to get our subs up on TikTok. We post new content every day on all the socials. And we're trying to stream more. But please give us a follow or drop us a donation. If you do, I'll answer any of your questions in the last few minutes of this episode of the show. This is El Chupacabra, a killer thrash metal band, and they have collabed with DX Ferris. You might know he's a book author. He wrote the definitive book on Slayer. He's also written, I think, a book on Goodfellas, and he just launched the Slayer podcast and an audio enhanced version of his book that has thrash metal songs from Chupacabra. So shout out to them. They have a new EP out or coming out, and DX Ferris. DX, if you're out there, I want to interview you. We've flirted with it over the years on Twitter and other socials, and I would like to interview you and talk about your podcast. So holla at your boy in the DMs. This is Zulu, killer band. Their new album is out now on Flat Spot Records. They just released a 2-song EP, including a cover of Slipknot's Wait and Bleed, their very first big hit single. And it's killer. It's super fun. So shout out to Zulu, one of the rising bands right now. And Flat Spot is a killer label. They got a lot of great hardcore punk bands of all stripes. Inhuman Condition is a death metal supergroup including members of Venom Inc. and Obituary, and they have announced a new EP, Panic Prayer, coming out this summer on their own record label. And we interviewed them about their last full-length EP, Rat King. You definitely want to check out this new EP. I don't know what the fudge you're talking about, bro. Y'all are weird on TikTok. I'm going to be honest. Y'all are crazy. Real Diego. I don't even know what that question means. But if you watch the show, dude, Have you? Why are you here? Anyway, our co-owner is African American, by the way. Anyway, here's a fun story. I'm getting tired of talking about. Rammstein has been not dropped by Universal, but all Universal's activities around the band have been suspended. The German police are fully and finally investigating Till Lindemann for some allegations against the band. We talked about that in prior episodes. YouTube likes to demonetize us just for mentioning this story, by the way. But I just like updating. It's important to update this news. This is ongoing. And a legit investigation is now going on into the band. And so their record label, as I mentioned earlier, Universal Records is the biggest record label in the world. And they are now putting a pause. And they released a statement. Let me see if I have it here, because I think it's important to mention the statement the label put out. So the label has said preliminary proceedings. Wait, that's the police. Sorry, hold on. Here's the label. The accusations against Till Lindemann have shocked us, and we have the greatest respect for the women who have spoken out so courageously in public in this case. We have suspended marketing and promotional activities for the band's recordings until further notice. The band, by the way, is currently on tour in Europe, on a stadium tour. They are one of the biggest bands in the world. So we have not had something happen like this other than Manson. We haven't had something like this. Obviously, Manson wasn't on tour when this happened, but, you know, just got to mention it. Almost done here with the stories and almost done here with the show. As my face is starting to leak out. Crap. Anyway, this is super cool. We talk a lot about Z2 Comics. I did an unboxing last week of my Z2 Comics Anthrax limited edition album and comic book graphic novel hardcover. Z2 is doing a graphic novel based on Miles Davis. Miles Davis was one of the first concerts I ever saw as a child. I don't think I understood what I was hearing, but it was wild. And I ran around giggling all over the place. And so Miles Davis and the Search for the Sound. This is super cool if you like graphic novels and maybe you like some jazz. I don't know. I love jazz, but maybe it's for you. New Music Friday, really quick. Let's bang through the new albums out today. So get your pens and pencils out, or pause and rewatch this when it rebroadcasts shortly. New albums out today from Altar of Oblivion, Epic Doom Metal, Boris in Uniform's collab EP on Sacred Bones, Church of Miseries, Black Sabbath-y Doom Metal on Rise Above Records, Creeping Death, as I mentioned earlier, Boundless Domain, out now on Monarch Heavy, Death Metal, Thrashy Death Metal, Elder Devils, Grindcore on Prosthetic Records, Queens of the Stone Age and Times New Roman, somewhat of a comeback album for them. Read our review on the site. Royal Thunder, love that band. I have an interview coming out with them. Rebuilding the Mountain on Spinefarm Records, kind of a stoner rock blues album. I never know if I'm saying this correctly. Avant-garde progressive metal band Thy Catafalque on Season of Mist. Varmia, atmospheric black metal band on M Theory Recordings. Vulture Industries, kind of progressive metal from Dark Essence Recordings. Witch Skull on Rise Above Records. Yawning Man, also same stripe, Heavy Psych Sounds, comeback album of sorts for Yawning Man. And that's it for the week. So that's your homework. I shouted out your bands, your genres, your styles. Cockpocalyptic, great name. Yeah, I don't understand some of y'all on TikTok. Rimjob Rick joined. No thanks. But anyway, yeah, that's the new records coming out this week. We're down to the last few seconds of the show. This is me waiting for a package, which means you see this meme and it's time for the mailbag. The mailbag is here, and I have a fun thing to share. We talked a lot about this band the last few weeks, and I got this cool thing in the mail from Corpse Paint Records. Look at this black packaging, really cool, fun, gothy packaging. This is I Am and their debut merch drop. So this is music and merch from the supergroup, doom metal supergroup I Am, which contains Kenny Hickey and Johnny Kelly from Typo Negative and their newer band Silvertomb. Johnny Kelly is also in Danzig and a bunch of other bands, Quiet Riot. Kirk Winstein of Crowbar and Down, Sexy Todd Strange from Crowbar and Down. So this is cool. They dropped their debut single, Dreams Always Die with the Sun, and I bought some of their merch. So I got this thing in the mail, and I'm going to share it now. Before I unbox the thing, before I unpack the thing, I'm going to add myself back. I did it. I remembered. Finally. Man, it's been a while. I always get this wrong, kind of. So let's see. Put this out over here because I don't want anything to fall. Here's the packaging. No need to zoom and enhance. So this is super cool. Now I know that they have a shirt out. I didn't get one. They have a vinyl that's on the way and coming. So first things first. Here's the Corpse Paint Record sticker with the fun logo they have. That's going to go somewhere here in my room, my office. Here is the Dreams Always Die with the Sun debut single, CD single. I am super pumped for this. This is beautiful. Look at the same photo we used there. And it's very well packaged. I'm going to say it's like a very professional packaging job, by the way. And then there's a flexi disc. I can throw this on the turntable tomorrow. So this is the I Am flexi disc with the cool little Illuminati pyramid there. Let's see what this flexi disc looks like. But yeah, shout out to the band. Shout out to Corpse Paint Records. Thank you, Andrew of Corpse Paint Records, who sent me this package and packaged it up so nicely. So it got here in one piece. And I will probably get the vinyl when it comes out because I'm that dude. That's what I do. So it's in a nice slipcase. Here's the beautiful graphic photo of the band that was shot during their video for that song. And then so here's the clear flexi disc. Who else out there collects flexi discs and albums and such? I got this. So good stuff. I have made it somehow through to the end of the show. This is wild. If you're somehow still here, thank you. A few of you are. Thanks so much for being here. If you're new here, give us a sub, especially on TikTok and Twitch and Instagram. We're trying to grow those numbers. And yeah, man, it's been a wild one. I'm not feeling too good. I'm gonna go to bed soon. But thanks so much for being here. If you watched our show, if you made it this far, you are a real one. You are a regular. We appreciate you, your family. If you love the rock and metal, like and subscribe and check out all our stuff. And thanks so much for being here. As we say every week at this juncture of the show, it's a tough time in the world. So please take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and stay as metal as humanly possible. Peace. Nope. Not that one. This one. End credits. Fucking dick.